Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
A bulging cylindrical shape, hollow with flat ends. A hollow cast iron cylinder attached to the wheel that forms part of the brakes. Make a rhythmic sound. Rain drummed against the windshield. Small to medium-sized bottom-dwelling food and game fishes of shallow coastal and fresh waters that make a drumming noise. Study intensively, as before an exam. A cylindrical metal container used for shipping or storage of liquids. A musical percussion instrument usually consists of a hollow cylinder with a membrane stretched across each end. Play a percussion instrument. The sound of a drum. He could hear the drums before he heard the fifes. A bulging cylindrical shape, hollow with flat ends. A tube through which a bullet travels when a gun is fired. A cylindrical container that holds liquids. Any of various units of capacity. A barrel of beer is 31 gallons and a barrel of oil is 42 gallons. The quantity that a barrel, of any size, will hold. Put in barrels. A hollow cast iron cylinder attached to the wheel that forms part of the brakes. A regular route for a sentry or policeman. In the old days, a policeman walked a beat and knew all his people by name. Come out better in a competition, race, or conflict. Agassi beat Becker in the tennis championship. Make a rhythmic sound. The drums beat all night. Avoid paying. Beat the subway fare. Move rhythmically. Her heart was beating fast. Be a mystery or bewildering to. This beats me. Wear out completely. I'm beat. Make a sound like a clock or a timer. The grandfather clock beat midnight. The rhythmic contraction and expansion of the arteries with each beat of the heart. He could feel the beat of her heart. Move with a flapping motion. The basic rhythmic unit in a piece of music. The conductor set the beat. Very tired. So beat I could flop down and go to sleep anywhere. Move with or as if with a regular alternating motion. A member of the beat generation, a nonconformist in dress and behavior. Prosody, the accent in a metrical foot of verse. Give a beating to, subject to a beating, either as a punishment or as an act of aggression. Thugs beat him up when he walked down the street late at night. Move with a thrashing motion. The eagle beat its wings and soared high into the sky. Beat through cleverness and wit. I beat the traffic. Stir vigorously. Beat the egg whites. A regular rate of repetition. The cocks raised the beat. A single pulsation of an oscillation produced by adding two waves of different frequencies has a frequency equal to the difference between the two oscillations. A stroke or blow. The signal was 2 beats on the steam pipe. Be superior. Reading beats watching television. Glare or strike with great intensity. The sun was beating down on us. Hit repeatedly. Beat on the door. Indicate by beating, as with the fingers or drumsticks. Make by pounding or trampling. Beat a path through the forest. Produce a rhythm by striking repeatedly. Beat the drum. Sail with much tacking or with difficulty. The boat beat in the strong wind. Shape by beating. Beat swords into plowshares. Strike. A part of one's own body, repeatedly, as in great emotion or in accompaniment to music. Beat one's breast. Strike, water or bushes, repeatedly to rouse animals for hunting. The act of beating to windward, sailing as close as possible to the direction from which the wind is blowing. The sound of stroke or blow. He heard the beat of a drum. Make a rhythmic sound. Sound with a monotonous hum. Sound the strings of a stringed instrument. A thrumming sound. He could hear the thrum of a banjo. Small to medium-sized bottom-dwelling food and game fishes of shallow coastal and fresh waters that make a drumming noise. Remove the bones from. Bone the turkey before roasting it. A shade of white, the color of bleached bones. Study intensively, as before an exam. I had to bone up on my Latin verbs before the final exam. Rigid connective tissue that makes up the skeleton of vertebrates. The porous calcified substance from which bones are made. Consisting of or made up of bone. Study intensively, as before an exam. I had to bone up on my Latin verbs before the final exam. Study intensively, as before an exam. Crowd or pack to capacity. Prepare, students, hastily for an impending exam. Put something somewhere so that the space is completely filled. Cram books into the suitcase. Get up and out of bed. I get up at 7 a.m. every day. Raise from a lower to a higher position. Put on special clothes to appear particularly appealing and attractive. Study intensively, as before an exam. Develop. Rise to one's feet. Arrange by systematic planning and united effort. Cause to rise. Study intensively, as before an exam. Study intensively, as before an exam. Study intensively, as before an exam. An insignificant student who is ridiculed as being affected or boringly studious. Study intensively, as before an exam. A cylindrical metal container used for shipping or storage of liquids. A musical percussion instrument usually consists of a hollow cylinder with a membrane stretched across each end. A musical percussion instrument usually consists of a hollow cylinder with a membrane stretched across each end. A chamber within which piston moves. A cylindrical container for oxygen or compressed air. A solid bounded by a cylindrical surface and two parallel planes, the bases. A surface generated by rotating a parallel line around a fixed line. Phonetics, an individual sound unit of speech without concern as to whether or not it is a phoneme of some language. Logically valid. A sound argument. Measure the depth of a body of water with a sounding line. The subjective sensation of hearing something. He strained to hear the faint sounds. Make a certain noise or sound. Having legal efficacy or force. A sound title to the property. In excellent physical condition. A sound mind in a sound body. The audible part of a transmitted signal. Of sleep, deep and complete. A sound sleeper. A narrow channel of the sea joining two larger bodies of water. Exercising or showing good judgment. A sound approach to the problem. Utter with vibrating vocal cords. A large ocean inlet or deep bay. The main body of the sound ran parallel to the coast. Announce by means of a sound. Sound the alarm. Appear in a certain way. This sounds interesting. Cause to sound. Sound the bell. Complete. Thorough. Politicians have no sound grasp of technology issues. Financially secure and safe. Sound investments. Free from moral defect. A man of sound character. Give off a certain sound or sounds. This record sounds scratchy. In good condition, free from defect or damage or decay. A sound timbre. Mechanical vibrations transmitted by an elastic medium. Falling trees make a sound in the forest even when no one is there to hear them. The particular auditory effect produced by a given cause. The sound of rain on the roof. The sudden occurrence of an audible event. The sound awakened them. Vigorous or severe. A sound thrashing. Follow a certain course. How did your interview go? Have a particular form. As the saying goes. Move away from a place into another direction. Perform as expected when applied. The washing machine won't go unless it's plugged in. Change location. Move, travel, or proceed, also metaphorically. How fast does your new car go? Be in the right place or situation. Let's put healthcare where it belongs, under the control of the government. A usually brief attempt. A board game for two players who place counters on a grid. The object is to surround and so capture the opponent's counters. Pass from physical life and lose all bodily attributes and functions necessary to sustain life. Make a certain noise or sound. Lead, extend, or afford access. This door goes to the basement. Street names for methylenedioxymethamphetamine. Continue to live and avoid dying. Begin or set in motion. Ready, set, go. Stop operating or functioning. To be spent or finished. The money had gone after a few days. A time period for working, after which you will be relieved by someone else. It's my go. Blend or harmonize. This sofa won't go with the chairs. Go through in search of something. Search through someone's belongings in an unauthorized way. Enter or assume a certain state or condition. Get going. Have a turn. make one's move in a game. Can I go now? Give support to, or make a choice of, one out of a group or number. Stretch out over a distance, space, time, or scope. Run or extend between 2 points or beyond a certain point. His knowledge doesn't go very far. Follow a procedure or take a course. We should go farther in this matter. Be the right size or shape. Fit correctly or as desired. Progress by being changed. The speech has to go through several more drafts. Be abolished or discarded. These ugly billboards have to go. Be or continue to be in a certain condition. Be ranked or compare. This violinist is as good as Juilliard-trained violinists go. Be spent. Functioning correctly and ready for action. All systems are go. Pass, fair, or elapse, of a certain state of affairs or action. How is it going? Widely distributed family of carnivorous percoid fishes having a large air bladder used to produce sound. Widely distributed family of carnivorous percoid fishes having a large air bladder used to produce sound. Learn by reading books. I have an exam next week. I must hit the books now. A branch of knowledge. Anthropology is the study of human beings. Give careful consideration to. Applying the mind to learning and understanding a subject, especially by reading. No schools offer graduate study in interior design. Attentive consideration and meditation. Preliminary drawing for later elaboration. Think intently and at length, as for spiritual purposes. He is meditating in his study. Learn by reading books. He is studying geology in his room. A detailed critical inspection. A written document describing the findings of some individual or group. This accords with the recent study by Hill and Dale. Be a student of a certain subject. Consider in detail and subject to an analysis in order to discover essential features or meaning. A composition intended to develop one aspect of the performer's technique. A study in spiccato bowing. A room used for reading and writing and studying. He knocked lightly on the closed door of the study. A state of deep mental absorption. She is in a deep study. Be a student. Follow a course of study. Be enrolled at an institute of learning. Someone who memorizes quickly and easily, as the lines for a part in a play. He is a quick study. A craft designed for water transportation. A tube in which a body fluid circulates. An object used as a container, especially for liquids. A musical instrument in which the sound is produced by one object striking another. A musical instrument in which the sound is produced by one object striking another. Contend against an opponent in a sport, game, or battle. Princeton plays Yale this weekend. Pretend to have certain qualities or state of mind. She plays deaf when the news are bad. Manipulate manually or in one's mind or imagination. She played nervously with her wedding ring. A dramatic work intended for performance by actors on a stage. He wrote several plays but only one was produced on Broadway. The act using a sword, or other weapon, vigorously and skillfully. A weak and tremulous light. The play of light on the water. Gay or light-hearted recreational activity for diversion or amusement. It was all done in play. Activity by children that is guided more by imagination than by fixed rules. Freud believed in the utility of play to a small child. Consider not very seriously. She plays with the thought of moving to Tasmania. Cause to happen or to occur as a consequence. Play a joke. Replay, as a melody. She played the third movement very beautifully. Game. The activity of doing something in an agreed succession. It is still my play. Perform on a stage or theater. She acts in this play. Stake on the outcome of an issue. She played all her money on the dark horse. An attempt to get something. They made a futile play for power. A deliberate coordinated movement requiring dexterity and skill. The runner was out on a play by the shortstop. Engage in recreational activities rather than work. Occupy oneself in a diversion. On weekends I play. Cause to emit recorded audio or video. I'll play you my favorite record. Movement or space for movement. There was too much play in the steering wheel. Behave carelessly or indifferently. The removal of constraints. They gave full play to the artist's talent. Engage in an activity as if it were a game rather than take it seriously. They played games on their opponents. The act of playing for stakes in the hope of winning, including the payment of a price for a chance to win a prize. There was heavy play at the blackjack table. Verbal wit or mockery, often at another's expense but not to be taken seriously. In games or plays or other performances, the time during which play proceeds. Rain stopped play in the fourth inning. Play a role or part. Gielgud played Hamlet. Act or have an effect in a specified way or with a specific effect or outcome. This factor played only a minor part in his decision. A preset plan of action in team sports. The coach drew up the plays for her team. A state in which action is feasible. The ball was still in play. A theatrical performance of a drama. The play lasted 2 hours. Be at play. Be engaged in playful activity. Amuse oneself in a way characteristic of children. The kids were playing outside all day. Behave in a certain way. Play safe. Be performed or presented for public viewing. What's playing in the local movie theater? Bet or wager, money. He played $20 on the new horse. Cause to move or operate freely within a bounded space. The engine has a wheel that is playing in a rack. Discharge or direct or be discharged or directed as if in a continuous stream. Play water from a hose. Emit recorded sound. The tape was playing for hours. Employ in a game or in a specific position. They played him on first base. Exhaust by allowing to pull on the line. Play a hooked fish. Make bets. Play the casinos in Trouville. Move or seem to move quickly, lightly, or irregularly. The spotlights played on the politicians. Participate in games or sport. We played hockey all afternoon. Perform music on a musical instrument. He plays the flute. Perform on a certain location. The prodigy played Carnegie Hall at the age of 16. Play on an instrument. The band played all night long. Pretend to be somebody in the framework of a game or playful activity. Let's play like I am mommy. Put a card or piece into play during a game, or act strategically as if in a card game. He is playing his cards close to his chest. Shoot or hit in a particular manner. She played a good backhand last night. Use or move. I had to play my queen. Use to one's advantage. She plays on her client's emotions. Utilization or exercise. The play of the imagination. A kind of drumfish. Large edible fish found off coast of United States from Massachusetts to Mexico. Black and white drumfish with an erect elongated dorsal fin.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.